Hey guys, this is Shaft and welcome to another Planet Casting Crew production. I have an awesome guest caster tonight. He is representing Denmark. He's amazing. I present to you, Mads.
Mads! Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
How's it going, man? How's it going?
It's going awesome. I'm casting some StarCraft, enjoying life, the usual.
No complaints there, dude. Well, anyways, here on Heavy Rain Ladder Edition, we have an exciting Zerg vs. Protoss for you guys. It's going to be a match between none other than the blue Zergy McFerguson. Here on the bottom right, representing Team Root, it's Petraeus.
And the red Protoss spawner up in the top left, it's going to be Believe.
Indeed, and this guy represents Core Gaming. He's one of their newest pickups. He has actually changed his name from Believe now to Naya. So if you see Naya surfing around the ladder, that is this guy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this looks like it's going to be a gateway first opener up against Root Petraeus. Petraeus, of course, going for his hatchery first. He's pretty well known for doing this. Hatchery first works great against a gateway first opener. It's not so good against Forge first, obviously, because of the cannon rush, but kind of is what it is. Now, this is Heavy Rain, so I want to bring some attention here to this little ledge. This is a very important ledge in Zerg vs. Protoss. You can hide proxy pylons up here, but more importantly, this is where Blink Stalkers attack. This map is super well known for Blink Stalkers, and it's just a very potent build. Now, speaking of potent builds, Petraeus is going 2 hatches before his pull. What do you think of this, Mads?
I think this is actually a really good idea. I see Scarlet doing this a lot of time and then following up with the gas around the 430 mark, but Petraeus actually getting at the 320 mark, which is pretty good, because he'll be able to get circling speed out in time to defend like Zealot attacks, and his economy will obviously be a lot stronger than if he had gone hatch, pool, hatch. So I think it's a good call, especially because he is up against a gateway first, and I think he saw that with his scouting overlord, so made sure it wasn't a Forge fast expand.
Actually, he didn't see that until 3 minutes and about 5 seconds, and that hatchery went down way before that. That was about 10 or 15 seconds before. So I think he might have planned on canceling it. I'm not sure if he were to see a Forge or something, he might have canceled it. I'm not 100%, but he did do that without scouting information.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, obviously I think he's going to be in a good spot. Obviously, Believe can't really do any too crazy all-ins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without Petraeus having the opportunity to deny it.
Yeah, it actually works out really well for him because it is indeed gateway first. Like you said, Forge first, the threat of a cannon rush, it would have just been too much. But you don't really see cannon openers on this map for whatever reason these days.
No, definitely. I think it's probably because the natural ramp is not too open, so you can actually pretty easily wall it off after a gateway expand. You don't need just to get Forge first and then start building up a giant wall like if you try to do a gateway expand on Daedalus Point, for example. That would be very difficult. Forge fast expand is also difficult on that map, but that's probably just because it's a pretty wide open ramp.
Exactly. So Petraeus working on his metabolic boost. He's got one drone back here in gas. Looks like he's not going to be going for a super fast Mutalisk, but he did want some kind of map control in the form of the metabolic boost. This is going to help him keep any kind of proxy pylons down and kind of away from his base, as again, this is just a super well-known aggressive gateway build map.
Yeah, and Petraeus actually cancels the Twilight Council right before, Believe cancels the Twilight Council right before Petraeus sees it. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge information for Petraeus.
And he started it right back immediately. Do you think this is going to be Dark Templar, or do you think this is going to be a Blink Stalker?
Like, obviously both are a possibility, but given the map, I would say it's probably going to be Blink Stalkers, because it's, as you say, it's a very open map, and Blink Stalkers are very strong on this map.
So Petraeus is just about to scout this Twilight Council, and in fact, he has actually seen the Twilight Council already. If you take a look at his vision, he actually did see it. So he's seeing if it was canceled or not. It looks like Believe in canceling it did not hide it from his opponent, and indeed it is getting scouted yet again. And because there's a chrono on it, he can also assume blink stalkers. Petraeus is in just this amazing position where he knows what's coming at him. All he's got to do is defend it.
Yeah, and Believe is adding on 4 more gateways, going up to 7 games. There's going to be a 7-game blink stalker, and is Petraeus going to see this? That would be an amazing tell, and he will be able to just pump out units and just go for holding this attack instead of trying to get a little bit of economy, because he would know he just has to hold off the attack and then win.
Well, Petraeus has done quite a bit of damage with these lings, but the bigger damage, I think, is in scouting those 2 gateways. Is he going to try and sneak in over there to see if there's a third? He did not, but you can safely assume in that, he's seen the blink from the Twilight Council and he's seen 2 gateways in production. You can probably assume from his vision alone that, he's going to be worried. That is, of course, 5 gates that are visible so far, but it's 7 gates total. So he may think it's a 5 gate and not make quite enough to defend it. That's going to be a possibility, but this is Petraeus. He doesn't make mistakes like that.
No, absolutely not. And he's actually going for burrow, which is really interesting, because this is probably going to mean he's going to try to set up some kind of trap for Believe. Like, for example, burrow his roaches like on the path towards blinking into the main and suddenly unburring them and destroying the blink stalkers. So that's actually really interesting, and I think it's something that's not really used as much by Zergs as it should be.
And I'd like to point out that he is forcing the Protoss to take this bottom left path as opposed to coming in through the middle. And that's going to actually be huge. It limits where the proxy pylon can be. And there's the burrow, like you were talking about.
That's pretty cool. And he even has a spine crawl there. He's totally on top of this.
Yeah, dude, there's no way this could go badly for him except for, blink. Because if he does get us around here, well, the stalkers could blink away or, God forbid, blink up that ramp. And that... I have mixed feelings about this trap, actually. We're going to find out, though. Here we go. He's right on top of the roaches. Spine crawlers holding them off. We have the unburrow. And he blinks in. Wow, right on top of the ramp. He is now in the main. Overlord gets killed off. That is going to be a supply block. Root Petraeus, though, has doubled the supply, double the army supply, 47 army supply more. There's no way he can lose this battle. Time warp goes down. We've got some roaches here behind the stalkers, and then some here in front. He is sandwiching them so the kiting is not there. But there is an observer now, so the burrow, not quite as powerful as it could be. Wow, Petraeus is getting pushed back of his own base.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't think Belial will be able to do too much damage. And it was actually a really nice trap. I think he should have perhaps recalled once he got up, like snipe the others and then recall back and try to take a third or something.
Maybe, but he's able to put pressure here on this third. He's got way more stalkers than there are roaches here. And it's hard to transition out of the 7 gate, let's be honest.
Yeah, that is true. But right now he's doing a good job actually of fighting the roaches in a good spot where he has a good concave.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really done too much damage to the worker line of Petraeus, but he is constantly forcing units to be produced right now, and that is actually allowing him to even out the worker count.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, nice roach hugs here by Petraeus. He is targeting down these stalkers. Stalkers trying to blink away with just itty-bitty, teeny-tiny amounts of health, and it is indeed working, but lings and roaches are coming back out. We have a defender's advantage here for Petraeus. He's got 20 lings on production with 6 roaches as well. It looks like he might be able to hold this, but it's about time for another warp in from Believe. Does he warp it in here? Does he warp it in the backward position? There we go. 7 units being warped in. That is 7 stalkers, and there's just not that much stuff here for Petraeus.
Yeah, absolutely, but the stalkers are taking HP damage. Even if he manages to survive here, they'll be significantly weaker than they were before the fight. But it looks like he's going to clean it up with the reinforcing lings and roaches.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good here for Petraeus. There's a reason he's the #1 player on the Grandmaster ladder. Still, that's a lot of units here.
Yeah, suddenly he's turning back. And he's actually evening up the supply. It's only 89 to 76 supply.
Well, I feel like part of the issue is that Petraeus keeps engaging off creep. As long as he's on creep and he kites back to stay on it, he does fine. But just as soon as you see, him get off the creep, he starts bleeding units.
Yeah, especially, and that's a tendency a lot of Zergs have. Once they feel like they can end the Protoss attack, they throw the entire army out instead of just waiting it out until it's safe to end it. And now, actually, I think Believe is in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I believe has actually managed to go from 40 supply behind as far as army supply to 5 supply behind. And this is a roach heavy army, so that supply is probably closer to about 20 for Petraeus.
Oh, and he's even dancing the Stalkers.
Oh, what an asshole. Actually, Naya is known for his BM a little bit, so the dancing is not too surprising there.
Well, at least it's the sweetest form of BM, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a nicer form. It's better than fuck you, asshole.
True. And it looks like Petraeus goes out of the game. That was actually a really well play by Believe. He continued to micro very well with his playing Stalkers and eventually forged himself the advantage. When I would say at the beginning of the fights, Petraeus definitely had every advantage he really could have had. He knew the build, he knew what it was that was coming at him, he had burrow, he had a perfect positioning, everything was really in Petraeus' favor.
Indeed it was, dude. There's nothing I could say to add to that except for it does have a lot to do with just this little positioning thing here. You can see here on the mini-map that from this position here, you can actually attack into the third, but with Blink, you can also go into the main. And in order to defend that, the Zerg has to go all this long way, and by that time, the cooldown on Blink is such that he can just go right back to where he was. It forces the Zerg to either split his army in complete half, or to spend so much time running as to accept loss. So it's just a really difficult position to be in as a Zerg player. In my personal opinion, I feel like Petraeus needed his creep spread extending into that area, where you see, you know, his creep spread on the minimap, it extends forward quite a bit. It's just going the wrong direction.
Yeah, absolutely. If he could have fought before where the Protoss didn't have the opportunity to blink in, that would have been a much better spot for him to fight. He could focus all his units on one spot. And while Petraeus was trying to get into his main, he sniped a lot of overlords, and then when he went back, he sniped some drones. So he definitely tried to forge himself an economical advantage as well. So definitely well observed by you. That's probably the key point at which Petraeus lost this game.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to Atlantic Casting Crew Production. This is Shaft. My guest tonight is Mads. If you like what you're seeing, please check us out. We will be broadcasting the base. What is it? Base Wars.
Yeah, I think it's Base Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and that's going to be every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check it out. That's going to be the next 7 Fridays. See you there. Bye bye.
Bye.
신앙 선수가 되는 거고요.
그렇죠.
멀티에 방해도 받지 않으면서 안전하게 해주고 있는 모습인데 맹독충의 스피드업이 되기 전에 즉 전방 위에서만 싸워야 되고 전방만 좀 제거하고 마지막에 이렇게 스피드업을 뿌리고 이 병력을 살려가는